Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday so far. I know it's just started for a lot of people. Mine started at 3 o'clock this morning. I don't know. Having those sleepless nights again.
Great.
So that's what I've been doing.
Have you been working?
No.
Well, why not? If you're gonna be up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you should at least be working.
Because there was a certain episode that came out today and I had to watch it.
Did it come out this morning?
Yeah.
Oh crap. So that means I
Yeah.
gotta watch it after the show. Actually, I'll be back in an hour, okay?
No.
Just
No. Double no.
what? That's the same as you not working?
No, it is not the same thing. It is not.
Mm-hmm.
I actually worked.
Well,
Well, yesterday was kind of an off day. I was kind of, I don't know, feeling sorry for myself kind of thing. And didn't really, I don't know, didn't do a whole lot of work yesterday for some reason.
feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, just, I don't know, just in a mood. Just in a mood, didn't want to do anything, was, down on myself, and it just wasn't a good day. And
I had
so
to
finally,
like really kick myself in the ass and come in here and list. I think I got 5 up,
well, that's good.
but they're completed and everything. And I was like,
Right.
and it was a lot for that because it was so hot in here in this room. And then Brandon, on top of that, Brandon made ribs for dinner in the oven, and it was like scorching in here. And
Oh my gosh.
so it was bad. But I did it.
You did it. That's right.
I was proud of myself for doing that much. I just wanted to stay in bed all day, and it was nice and cool in the bedroom, so I was like, I'll just stay in here.
Yeah. I know. But I sometime I think, when you don't get any sales and you don't know what else to do, I mean, you know that you can list, but I think sometimes you just get of, list, there's got to be something else that you can do. I did a little revamp on my store.
Good.
And apparently it worked because, what was it? Today is Wednesday. So Monday night, Tuesday night, I got, 10 sales.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did you do?
I can't tell you.
Yes, you can't. You better tell me. You might not be telling me on this show, but you're gonna be telling me. You know you can't not tell me.
I know. And a lot of people might think it is freaking crazy because
Okay, and this doesn't mean that this is gonna work for everybody.
No, it does not.
Let's just put that out there just in case.
It's not. And you might think it's pretty drastic to do.
Okay.
But I put everything in my store for $9.99, buy it now, and took the best offer off.
And shipping extra.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I did go back and I went through everything, all of my listings, and anything that was, this is mainly, the majority of it was clothing. And my clothing isn't high, high end brands. It's kind of middle of the road to low brands. And so, I'm hovering over, 14.99, 15.99. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I need to get some stuff out of here. I need to stimulate, the stores so it, can thrive. And so I went through and I repriced some of the higher brand items that I know that I can get, $40 or $50. I kind of based it on if I thought it was worth $30 or less, it was going to be $9.99. Because I'd rather get $9.99 and get probably a $4 or $5 profit. That doesn't sound like very much, but I'd rather get that than it sit in a box for 2 years.
Right.
It's not doing me any good.
It makes sense. I mean, I could even, because I don't have anything in my stuff, I could probably, with my clothing, I could probably go $5.99 or $7.99 for most of my stuff, for most of my clothing. At least the clothing.
Yeah. I'm when I did it, because I just kind of did it like on a whim, and then I did it, and I was like, oh man, that was a bad mistake. I shouldn't have done it. And I started questioning myself, and I was like, just leave it on until the rest of the week. Just leave it like that.
So Monday and Tuesday, how many sales?
Monday night I got 2 sales, and then last night I got 8 more sales.
Okay.
So,
and you're not running Markdown Manager.
I'm not doing any sales, which I've thought about that. If I did something like that, I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to bounce my price around to, to include that in. So and you can only, the lowest you can go. The lowest you can go on a sale is 5%. So, because I tried, I thought, well, I'll run like a 2% sale just to kind of have something going. And it wouldn't let me. It only said 5%, which wouldn't be too bad because it's so low anyway. But
right,
I don't know. It's a trial, and we'll just have to see how things go, and then I also I started going through all of my inventory to see what had and had not been listed. I think probably so far I've got about 40 items.
Wow.
Which, it could have been with that 100 item that fell off. The 100 item bulk that fell off somewhere. It could have been with that. It could have been, when I first started and I didn't have a real good system and it just didn't get listed. It could have been, and then sometimes even when you go through and relist, sometimes it'll come up to say something like, this item, there's something wrong with this item. This item has been canceled or something to that effect. And you can't even fix it. It doesn't even allow you to fix it. Right. And so that falls off. It just goes bye-bye. So.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. And
I found a whole bunch of stuff. And that was just women. So I haven't even touched like the men's or my t-shirts or the bras. So I've got a long way to go, but at least I got started.
Yeah.
So
That's good. I mean, it it's worth it once you get through everything, you'll be like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I did that." You know,
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
kind of make up your own system
right.
and just,
And I had another plan, another ideal.
oh no.
So I started out with I think I've been with Bonanza like 3 times and just got really frustrated with them. Not to, everybody might have a different experience with them, but I just did not have a good experience. And I went ahead and signed up one last time. Got the gold membership, which is $40 a month, which I thought was absurd. But I thought, well, maybe if I get a higher membership, maybe I'll get, at least break even,
Yeah.
in sales. And, I messaged, I was probably 2 weeks in, and I messaged no sales, nothing. And I went in and I emailed the customer service and I said, what am I doing wrong? Because I haven't got any sales. And they're like, well, here's some tips that you can do. And it was pretty much what I already have done with eBay. And I was like, well, I'll let it go until and right before they bill me again. And if I haven't gotten any sales, then I'll just cancel my account. So I didn't get any sales for a whole month, which I know sales are sparse over there, but
Yeah, especially there. Yeah.
I just thought it was ridiculous. So I canceled my account. Um, but I'm going to start all these things that aren't listed at the same time that I'm listing them on eBay. I'm actually going to go over to Mercari and I'm going to list those items over there also.
Just those items.
Right, right. Because, and then if one sells on eBay, then I could take it off of Mercari and the other way around.
Hmm.
Um, but I would really like to have another way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. And something
Um,
that's gonna be worth it. I mean, and
yeah,
between the two, Macari and Poshmark, it sounds like Macari's the best way to go.
yeah,
I know that the bin pickers do some Macari, don't they?
yeah. They do, they do. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I actually made a plan because I thought something's got to change because I'm so overwhelmed and I feel like I've hit a wall. Like
Mm,
you know, and when I got into the reason I got into this, full time was because the sky's the limit. You can do as much as you want. You can do as little as you want. You make what you put in,
right.
and I was like, so why? What are you doing? So I made another business plan. I also made a schedule for myself, um, and
Wow.
I'm gonna start
You've been
sourcing.
busy. I'm proud of you.
I'm gonna start some. Well, thanks. I'm gonna start doing some sourcing and have like a dedicated day for that. Actually, I want to start going to the bins weekly.
That
That's
that talk with Eric got you going yesterday, didn't it? I knew it was gonna tempt you too much.
But you know what? There's no reason. I mean, it's not that far away.
No, it's
It's
not.
it's, it's an hour and a half, and because I haven't been there before, I'm a little freaked out about it. A little freaked out about taking the truck over there. But you know what? I have AAA.
Yeah.
I have towing with that up to 100 miles.
Hmm.
So I know I can go, in a radius within 100 miles to have it towed. I mean, of course,
Yeah.
that's not what I want, but I'm prepared, even though I don't want to
Yeah.
admit it. So I'm just going to do it. Um, so I took Wednesday off for sourcing, and Sundays off for cleaning the house, cleaning the yard, all of that.
It seems like a really good schedule.
So no naps. Starting tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Starting tomorrow.
So
Uh,
you're not going to the bins today, are you?
no, no, I need to build up some revenue um,
Yeah.
so I can go there. Because I mean, if I go there, I want to be able to buy, 100 pounds,
Yeah.
you know, something
Yeah.
that's going to keep me
Right. Right. You don't want to just go over there for, $5 worth of stuff or something, you know. You
right.
you want to go
I'm
for.
gonna I'm gonna go because that is going to that's going to get me through the week, and that's the goal, is to buy
Mhm.
enough. And if I realize that 100 pounds is too much, maybe I can back off, or I can not go as often, go every
Mhm.
other week, but try and I got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to see where your happy medium is at.
Right, right. So I'm trying to, I'm a total list person, and so I broke out my list and I just started writing stuff down, and I'm at least I realize that and this has happened a couple of times while I've been doing this. So um, I'm just glad that I realized it, and that I'm willing to, do whatever it takes to fix it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm not going to do any sourcing today. Actually, I'm going to spend my day listing these items that were not listed, um, and go through the rest of my boxes, and, you know, and do that. So
That sounds really good, sis.
I, I hope it works out. That's another thing
It
too, is
sounds
that,
good.
you know, uh, I can go and spend, I can go spend $100 at a thrift store, but I'm not going to get, you know, the amount of stuff. Um, and I think I could, I know that I can get more stuff for my money.
Right.
And, that's also where, this 9.99 is going to benefit me also, as if, the lower the cost that I'm putting into it, the more profit I'm going to have,
Yeah.
you know.
So okay, so if you get 100 pounds,
Hmm.
how much is that going to cost?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's $1.19 a pound.
Okay.
So right around $100, maybe a little bit over, probably 120 $120 for 100 pounds.
And well, so if you get one, if you get, it's kind of hard to average out, isn't it? Well, you'll just have to
Mm,
see how many pieces you get.
right, right. How many pieces versus how much I spent, and then divide it up, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what, you know, that's the bottom. That's what I spent, cost of
Yeah.
goods,
Yeah.
and for the items. So, and I've learned a lot from bin pickers, because they do, um, excuse the hair. Uh,
No, I think it looks cute today. It's very wavy and
this is right out of the shower.
oh, it looks
Not right
good.
out of the shower, but I have clothes on, but and I have pants on too.
Woohoo! It's a special kind of day.
It's Wednesday. I should have left him off. Sorry, guys. TMI. What was I saying? What was I saying?
um. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Oh, the bin pickers. Bin pickers. Bin pickers.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so they go to the outlets and they pick up a lot of light, really light items.
Mm-hmm.
So they do a lot of swimwear, swimsuits, bodysuits, you know, anything that's really light.
Hi, Eric.
They do.
Hello.
Good morning, Eric. So, you know, that brings down their cost. They can get a lot of items for, you know,
That's
a pound
smart.
of items, you know, they can get 20 items, you know, as long as it's a pound. And it only costs them $1.19. So
let's all take our pants off.
No Pants Wednesday. That's right.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
You're no fun.
Yeah, my son decided that he wanted to be up at 7:15 this morning because it was sunny out.
Holy moly.
Yeah, because I had to go to bed like 4 last night. I'm like, ugh.
Gosh.
Oh my God.
Sound as bad
So
as
the
me.
sun woke you up, huh?
Yeah, he's always been. They call people like a daylighters. They get up with the sun and they go to sleep with the sun. So if the sun's up, he wants to be awake. And it's actually a lifestyle that people live by. You know, so in the summertime they're up a lot. You know, they have a lot more hours. But in the wintertime they get up at like 8 o'clock and, you know, really kind of 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. But they go to bed at like 5:30 at night.
Yeah.
It's just a lifestyle. It's a little bit strange, but you know, he just reacts well to the sun. He just wants to be up and moving and doing those things. So
yeah.
which
is not a bad way to be. I mean, it's kind of, you know, different for a teenager to.
Well, I mean, that's just his condition. That's he just
right.
For him, if the sun's up, he should be awake.
Right.
Unfortunately, that also means that I need to be awake, which I didn't really need to be awake. So.
Oh.
That's
so
okay.
Let's do some shout outs. I haven't done any shout out. We just jumped right in.
You want me to do them?
We can both do them if you want.
Okay.
You want to start?
I will start. I'm scrolling. Tiffany C. Oh, I thought you were gonna go.
Mary Thistle. Okay, I think we got it now.
Tim from Tempe.
Beth C.
You got it, Valerie? Sherry Detmer.
Hank Allen Cash. I love that name. That's so cool.
I do too. It's really cool. We got. I'm scrolling. And Angela Barney.
Angela. Well.
Everybody else.
Well, Alabama Pickers. Roll Tide.
Why is Dusty in the chat?
Mr. Sadie.
Mr. Sadie's there. And did we say Sherry Detmer already? Yep. Oh, Grandma Wrinkles.
Grandma Wrinkles. Good morning. I think that's it for now.
I think so too. If we didn't say your name, shout yourself out.
Yeah, say my name. Say my name. No, there's a song like that, but
yeah,
I don't want to sing. I'll let her sing.
Oh, is Larry Lafferty here too?
I think so.
Oh, he is. Good morning, Larry.
You're hiding in.
So what's going on, Eric?
I'm been in a storage auction today, so it's got a half-hour close, and I'm the top bidder right now. So
very cool.
It's a small one. It's a 5x10, but it's only about half full, so I can get that in one trip. And it's only 15 minutes from my house, which is nice. But I have zero idea what I'm buying.
Zero?
Box. Tote. That's what I'm buying. I see 2 box fans and a 4-way lug wrench.
Oh, that's scary.
So 1 box is marked with a Honda genuine part, so I'm hoping there's maybe a factory genuine Honda part in there or something. So but that's all I can see. They don't do close enough pictures to really be able to tell what's in there. But it's like it's a pickup truck full the way I'm looking at it.
It's Eric, I think.
It's not me.
Okay.
We got static.
Staticky, stretchy.
You're the one that has the squirrels chewing the lines all the time.
We got mouse traps out.
I hear everything just fine. Sally's muted now. See, we don't hear the static when Sally mutes.
No. I'm muted and you're talking, and that's where I hear the static.
I don't hear any static. Do you hear static, Val?
Do you hear static, Valerie?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I don't hear a thing. Yeah. Hang on. I'll redo it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds like he's talking in a fan. Yeah. Okay. Testes.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I think it's all in your mind.
No.
It's on YouTube's line.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, it sounded like you were talking on through a fan. Like, I am Darth Vader.
Maybe that's the way I normally talk.
Oh God, I should hope
I need my son Luke so I can walk around going, Luke, I am your father. There's only one person who knows why my son's named Luke, and that's my wife. So
I did not say Dusty's Testes. I said Testes. 1, 2, 3.
I think you said Dusty's Testes. That's what I heard. So.
I didn't want to think about Dusty's Testes.
You don't want to run around with no pants on right now, apparently. So.
Too funny.
Okay, so what were you saying, Valerie? What were you saying earlier about bin pickers?
Just that, they've been doing it for like 16 years. And
oh yeah,
they used to live in Oregon, and they shopped at the bins, and that's how they did their their eBay. And then they sold their house there. They moved to LA, and they do the same thing there. So they homeschool their kids. Neither one of them work outside of the home. They're both home all day. I like their story, and I like where they're coming from, and but they have a lot of really good ideas as far as selling and getting stuff from the bins. And
yeah. I just started watching them, and I like what they're doing too. I don't really understand. They say a lot that they do wholesale lots on Macari.
Right.
What exactly does that mean?
So what they're doing, because Michelle's pregnant, she's going to
Mm-hmm.
be having a baby in a month. And so what they did was they took a lot of their listings down. I think they had like 1,000 listings. They took like 750 listings down. And then they put these wholesale lots together, and basically it's stuff from the bins that they bought, and they're selling it to resellers,
Okay.
so resellers can sell it on eBay or whatever.
Okay. So when they say wholesale, what
Hmm.
what
They're putting a big lot together to sell as a lot is all.
Yeah, that's all they're doing.
so
And
they're not using
they're
a
not losing
specific.
money on it by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not getting what they would expect to get as
Mm-mm.
retail.
No.
So they're letting
Oh,
somebody
okay.
else make up for
Right.
that.
Right.
Okay.
And this way they get their stuff for, I think it's $2 a pound there. So, they get their stuff for a small amount of money. They put it in a lot. They sell it for, I don't know how much it is, but and they're still making money. Michelle is
Mm-hmm.
not able to list as much as she did or do as much as she did
Right.
before. So that gives her husband a little bit, he could put the lots together and kind of do that, and they still have an income coming in.
Yeah.
But the reason why they did it on Mercari was because they would have done it on eBay, but they said that the shipping was less on Mercari than it would have been on eBay.
Oh.
So they
Hmm.
said shipping on Mercari was like $15 compared to $50 on eBay
Oh,
because of the
wow.
weight.
Hmm.
So because they're putting anywhere from 25 to 50 pieces in a lot,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
depending on what the item is. I mean, that's going to be, there could be a lot of weight there. So, but
Hi,
yeah,
Banana.
they're
What's
doing
up?
great. They're doing great with that, and I really like them. I think
I do
they're
too.
funny, and I think they're a good couple, and
Well, I mean, being a bin picker is no different than being an auction lot buyer.
right,
You know, you're spending a set amount, but you're buying a decent enough lot size to equal everything out to where it's pennies on the dollar for what you actually pay for stuff.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely right.
Hey, listen, remind me not to get up because it's No Pants Wednesday, so I don't want to make a mistake.
You don't want to ruin it for everybody. Just kidding, Jason.
Not a lot of movement on those units, Jason. One's at 90 and one's at 120 still.
Yeah, I know. I decided to pass though. I got too much stuff to do. My goal for today is to get all those 10 boxes of action figures photoed and online. That's my goal. We'll see what happens.
Give him a good couple cheap. See, Jason doesn't feel comfortable unless he spends like $5,000 at one time. So like you can't buy a cheap unit, and make a lot of money off of that.
I'm still really upset that last unit got pulled.
I don't blame you. That was so. I mentioned it yesterday, but it's got pulled, so we can talk about it. It was a unit that must have had somewhere between 70 and 80 in the box trains.
Oh, wow.
Engine, and these weren't just your Lionel whatever. These were the high end stuff where the engines retail for $800 a piece.
Oh my gosh.
The bidding was up to almost $5,000, and
Wow.
I was set to take it a lot higher.
yeah, because we figured it was worth at least 10,000. I mean, and that was
that's
just
only
train
just what
value.
that's only just what we could see. It was a 10 by 20, and there was tons of sealed boxes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then in the same place, there was another unit that had the full Marvel action figure statues, probably 20 to 25 of them in there.
Wow.
And that one got pulled. That one got pulled.
Did it get? No, it was that last time I checked. It bumped up to almost $4,000.
Oh, maybe it's. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe it hasn't been pulled yet.
I think that's all it's worth. You know, I think it's.
Yeah, we were figuring it was worth about 4,000. That we could comfortably say it was worth about $4,000. But yeah, it's. I mean, now what's really amazing is because you got to figure out where these things are. And this storage unit was in Long Island, and so you go, you take a street view. Where's it at? This storage unit has a better water view than most mansions. I kid you not, it is surrounded by water. It's like a moat around the place, and there's only one way on. You drive into it, and there's a gate right there, and there's water all the way around.
Wow.
It's really cool.
I was looking forward to going there. It was so upscale, too. When you looked in the parking lot, there was like tons of parking available. You know, usually when you get to a storage unit, the front has like 3 or 4 spots if you're lucky.
And it's just the storage unit.
Yeah, it's like
the only thing on that island.
Yeah. That's cool.
You know, it wouldn't. You know, I forgot to look. It wouldn't surprise me if they didn't rent boat slips too off that.
I didn't see any because it didn't look like there was enough canal slips, but there was a lot of boat slips around it. Because I mean, you could actually get out to the ocean from where this was at. They had the water came in. It actually was obviously ocean water. You could drive a boat all the way out there because there was condos around it and everything, and it looks like there's boat slips. Wow. Yeah, it was a really cool little unit.
Yeah, it was really close to Fire Island, if I remember right.
Yeah, and then we found a couple more units that were Jason doesn't want to bother with because there's just too much work going on right now, but they're actually really inexpensive. So if you live near, where the hell is this at? Bloomfield, New Jersey, there's a couple nice units to pick up for not a lot of money right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hoedown.
Well, good morning, Queen City.
Yeah, that's Poland Spring delivery. They're not going to make it today.
That's when you go, I need you to stop by today.
It's not like it's hot or anything. I don't need water, you know.
I got an outbid on my storage unit. I got 15 minutes to make up my mind.
So you don't know anything about this, Eric?
This unit there's no clue what's in there.
And what'd you buy it for?
I haven't bought it. I'm actually got outbid right now. High bid's $90. My next bid would have to be $100.
Oh.
Yeah, it's you know, it's gonna be tough to pry that 100 out of Eric's pocket.
You're damn straight it is. When I can spend $100 at an auction and make 1,000. I mean, that's the hardest part. So
yeah. The old unknown.
Yeah.
What if it's all clothes?
I sell clothes. I don't have a problem with that.
Clothes.
What if it's all
faded glory? You.
Oh.
I literally could. You could, when you buy a storage unit, you could literally be handed somebody $1,000 and drive into the dump with it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the risk of storage unit buying. So that's why you try to only buy based on what you can value by what you see. I see a Honda box that says Honda Genuine Parts. It's a larger box, so
possibly a motorcycle or something in there.
Who knows?
Could also be filled with dog food. Who knows?
Yeah, you just don't know. That's the cool thing about storage unit buying. Every now and then you got to take a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you can overanalyze them to death and try to get a good idea where it's at, but and Hank Allen Cash said the same thing. I mean, you can always use the totes. I mean, although I have more than enough totes, believe me, but
totes God, if anyone needs totes, just come over. They're free. Take the damn things. The one thing I hate about plastic, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah,
I can recycle it, but
I try to throw it away. I put trash in it, put it out at the garbage, and then the garbage guys empty it and put it back on my curb.
Yeah, because a lot of people use those damn things as their recycling and stuff.
Yeah.
It's hard to get rid of like plastic garbage cans sometimes. They keep thinking you want to use them. I'm like, the damn thing is falling apart. Take it.
Yeah, for me, I've got other auctions I got going on tonight, so I'll let this one go because I can't tell anything. There was one auction I would be all over. It literally had 25 of the giant U-Haul boxes in it, along with other stuff, so I could see value in it, and it wasn't going for very much. I just don't have the room right now for that.
Right.
You know, I've got more than enough stuff, and I'm actually thinking about taking a lot of things to live auction just to clean out my garage, because I got a sudden need for my garage. So
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would be an issue. I mean, there's the opportunities there, but if you don't got the room, then
yeah,
Yeah.
that
you figure that's somebody's probably whole house, and so you know you can get. I think it was going for less than $200. It'll probably close out about $400. You know you can pull $400 out of that. You know they probably have spent
right.
at least that much just storing it. So you got to figure it's worth at least that much stuff. And
Right.
The hardest part is, what do you do with all the extra stuff? And it's tough. The hardest part about buying storage units is you can't get every penny out of everything.
Right.
No, that's not the hardest part. The hardest part is hauling all that crap to your place in the heat.
Yeah, that's true.
Then the next hardest part is separating the good from the bad. I mean, even that good unit that I bought, I still walked away with what was it, 5 40-gallon bags filled of trash, and then another, I think it was at least 15 boxes, full boxes of stuff that I didn't want, that I gave to my neighbor that does yard sales, and then she donated whatever she didn't sell. So, you know, that was still a lot of sifting.
And that was a 5x10.
And that was a 5x, yeah, that was only a 5x10.
And it wasn't full.
What?
It wasn't like to the ceiling full. It was only about halfway up. And
you don't realize how much trash can be in those damn totes. Let me tell you something.
I didn't buy anything. I got a car that I blew the motor up in a car, so I got to figure out what to do with it. So I'm going to probably sell it, but I got to get everything together now. So
look at Mr. Sadie, all astute and everything. You remember that?
Yeah. Very disappointing. You have a car that long and you spin a rod bearing, and oh well.
Well, it's always good to get something new every once in a while. Yeah,
like I said, I've had that car for almost 10 years now. So
Sherry, you could come over right now and I could fill up your car. So, you know, anytime you want to swing by.
If you want to make a trip to Ohio, make sure you bring a truck and a trailer. I will hook you up.
Wow. Listen to that.
God, I get so much stuff that, like, you know, between now with the storage units, but even before with all the auction lots I get so much stuff that I don't want to deal with. It's just, you know, and some of it's mediocre where it's like, okay, it's worth selling on eBay, but I just never have the time to do it because it's not like stuff I'm interested in, you know, like it doesn't excite me.
Well, aside from my lot of sweaters, I haven't bought clothing in 6 months, and I still have like 9 totes of clothing to go through. And I've gone through them once, and they're all worth between $20 and $30 as a minimum. And it's just getting into the clothing listing mind when I get out of the smalls mind. And that's the problem, is I buy smalls every day, and it's so good. The money is just so good. That's why I kind of got away from clothing. But I have all these clothing that I'd already bought. So yeah, I could definitely, you know, if someone wants to give me, you know, a little bit of money for my trouble, I would definitely hook somebody up with clothing.
Yeah, Sherry, just come by, man. Just stop what you're doing and swing by.
You're a little closer to Jason than me.
Now, so now I'm on from that storage unit. I'm gonna do the action figures today, and I'm also gonna do the glasses. And I have the glasses here. I can show you a couple of pairs. These we have stuff like this.
Oh, cool.
And these are, I think they say Spirit on them, yeah. So I don't know anything about eyeglasses, so I have to look all this stuff up, but I casually looked up, and it looks like there's 14 pairs here, and they sell anywhere from 50 to 150. Nice. I pulled like the good ones aside. These are Bulgari. Does that sound right?
Bulgari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a decent brand. I mean, you had Chanel, you had really good brands.
Yep, those were really good.
There's two. I mean, when eyeglasses come in cases like this, and then like you open them up, and they're in like another case, and then you open that up, and there's a big instruction booklet, and then you open this up, and oh, there's a cloth and the glasses. You know, they must have spent some money, I guess.
Well, this guy worked at an eyeglass place.
Oh yeah, he worked at Lens Crafters. Apparently, so, I saw the paperwork there.
Which is really good because you always worry about counterfeits, but when you can check the backstory because you're going through the dude's paperwork anyway. You can check the backstory and say, okay, this guy had a legitimate access to high-end glasses.
Right.
Here we go. This is like total Smokey and the Bear.
There you go.
Which one? Aren't those your?
I see your license. These are Ray-Ban.
Ray-Bans. Those are the good Ray-Bans, though.
Right.
Oh, are they? I don't know.
Yeah, those are like $140, $150. Not the spammy Ray-Bans from China.
They're in the original case too.
Yeah.
It's kind of a funky case, but it says Ray-Ban.
Yeah, that's the Ray-Ban case that everybody's looking for. So yeah.
Then there's Versace. I don't know.
Yep. And like I said, people want the frame. They don't really care about the lenses.
Yeah, this one has a cracked lens, but all the rest are okay. But some are really cool. Like this one, I think was worth a lot. I did find this one. This one was, of course, I can't read now because I can't see. Mayu, something like that. Made in Italy.
Huh. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Let me stop boring you guys because it's not exciting.
It is exciting.
I mean, money-wise, it's exciting.
Yeah. I'll just get my eye out for eyeglasses.
Jason got very lucky with his storage unit.
Oh, I know, totally. And it's like, I don't know. I thought I was getting
Jason was buying the storage unit for computer stuff, high-end computer stuff, based on the boxes that were in it. And there was how much computer stuff in there, Jason?
Well, yeah. No, there were 4 laptops in there. 2 of them were widescreen HPs, so those aren't. I mean, they're still old, but they're still worth about $300 a piece, and
right.
And there were a couple other miscellaneous. Oh, there was a PlayStation 2 and a GameCube, and a lot of controllers and a big stack of games, but that's it. Nothing. Most of it was the action figures. 15 boxes of McFarlane action figures, which is nice.
Wow.
What else was there? Was a knife collection.
A huge knife collection.
Yeah. The eyeglass collection. There's about 10 or so watches that are in the like $30 range. What are the and the illusionist card collection.
That's the win right there. All the magician cards.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hundreds
A lot of
of
Paris miscellaneous stuff. It was a good day.
Yeah,
Mr. Sadie wants to know how much you paid.
Oh, the unit after buyer's percent and all that was $950, I believe, or $940.
You're all in for like $950.
Yeah, and shit. The eyeglasses.
How much
you get that? But
how much did you get out of the knives that you sold so far?
I forget.
I mean, you paid for the unit with the knives.
Yeah, or was it the cards? One of them already paid for the unit, so it's all profit at this point. I mean, I can go back and look. It's listing orders, all orders.
Yeah, Maui Jim. That's what that pair was. Hank's right.
So let's see. 150, 80. Remember 180, Eric.
Okay.
$220 plus, what did I say? 60?
180 cigarette.
I'm sorry, what was it?
180. So you're at 400 right now.
Yeah, 4. And then on the cards, I'm at. Why is it not get? You know, this new. It has
Yeah.
this new.
I hate the new one.
Yeah, it's not giving me the total.
Yeah.
So it's I'm just skimming real quick through. Actually, I'm almost at $1,000 with the cards. So
Including the car, or including the 400, or total?
plus the 4.
So yeah, 1,400.
Yeah, so I'm approximately 14. I just eyeballed it because it's just not giving me the totals at the bottom.
Nice.
So and I said he hasn't even listed half the unit. So
Not even a quarter.
yeah, it was nice sale and everything. But
the funny part is, after throwing everything out that was in that friggin' unit, it literally came down to a big, the 10 boxes of action figures I have on a table, and the other stuff I fit on one of my just single shelves that's 96 inches long, and that's it. So it really wasn't like a physical ton of stuff, but
yeah, I was a little hesitant. I mean, when he told me how much you paid for the unit, I'm like, man, that's a lot for that unit, because it didn't look full. And then he does an unboxing. We're sitting, me and Dusty and him were in a hangout watching him unbox, and it's like, my God, that's a ton of stuff. I'm like, that wasn't even a full. So I mean, it kind of gives you the sense of how much stuff is actually can be in these units if you're not really ready for it. It can be rough.
Right.
I mean, you can end up with just tons and tons of stuff, and then if you don't have a way to get rid of it, or you're going to try and sell everything, which, I mean, I'm sure you probably could have made another $500 on the stuff you gave away if you wanted to nickel and dime it to death.
Oh, easily. There was a lot of stuff that was worth in the 20 range, like many things, but I just didn't want to be bothered with it. You gotta understand, when you start to buy so much, it's like you gotta limit to an extent. I mean, with tools, because that's my main thing, I don't mind selling $10 items because they're going to, people buy multiple items from me and stuff, so those are all extra little bread and butter. But when it's, just general merchandise, I don't want to be bothered with the smaller stuff. I mean, what happens is, even if I keep it, it will just sit there taking up space for friggin' ever.
How many DVDs do you have over there?
All right, not to mention, forget the DVDs. I still have all the top shelf there. I still have all those brand new books up there that have been sitting there for the past 6 months or so.
And those like $20 a piece too.
I don't know. They're whatever Sherry wants to like sell them for, as far as I'm concerned. So get down here, girl.
He's calling you out, Sherry. You better get down there.
The only thing I did keep that was low dollar, because it was interesting, was all those books on witchcraft and the occult stuff.
Those sell, and they sell really quickly too. So I mean, those will be quick sellers no matter what.
Yeah.
So I mean, it likes to do, if you want, you can make just a big lot of them and sell them all at once, and do make $100 bill out of them. So.
Yeah. I just thought they were just different, so I was like, what the heck? I put those aside.
Yep. So I mean, storage auctions are fun. I mean, but you got to be able to handle the weight.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. It really is when it comes down to it. And that was only a small unit. I had to take 2 trips down to that place.
Yeah,
I have a pickup, but
I did a 5x. It was like a 5x8, and it took me 3 trips to get it emptied. I have a full size truck. I mean, that's like, oh my God, can people cram a bunch of crap in there or what? I mean.
It's so funny when you look at some of these units. They're like, people are actually paying a monthly fee for storing this crap.
Crap, exactly. Yeah, I seriously considered, because like I said, I've been redoing my whole storage system. I thought about getting a storage unit, including my entire garage out and my warehousing I have in my house, to try to be able to get a little better handle on everything. And I'm like, that's a lot of money to be shelling out every month just to store stuff. I would be better off taking it to auction and turning it into cash, and just letting myself deal with, then I'm just got to go out and buy, because I'm buying better and different stuff nowadays than I was buying a year ago.
Mm.
So, yeah, that's the idea.
You're definitely choosy, I noticed.
Oh, I'm very good with a bunch of stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not the value. I mean, I spent $400 on a lathe I know nothing about. I mean, I trust Jason on his advice and everything here, but I'm not afraid to spend money. But I'm very careful about what I want to buy. I like to make sure that I'm making decent value out of it.
Right.
If I get extra stuff and I can pull extra value out of it, it's even better.
Not to mention you have plenty of stockpiles of lower end stuff, so you don't need to,
Yeah, actually, if I can get something cheap enough and I like the buy, if I just felt like buying, I would buy that storage unit. But I've got other irons in the fire. I've got a really good auction coming up that has potential to make really good money if it stays cheap enough, and so I got my eye on that one. So and it's stuff that I really know well, so I know what I'm doing with it. It's a bunch of firearms reloading stuff and things like that, and I used to do that type of stuff, so I know the money's there. It's just a matter of, can I get it at a reasonable price?
Right.
But I said, it doesn't hurt me not to buy either.
Someone mentioned luck before. Why do I seem to be so lucky?
It ain't luck.
It's not luck at all.
Hard work.
It's luck is a skill as far as I'm concerned. It's so funny. I get other dealers other tool dealers that I talk to all the time, and they're always amazed that, like, when I come back from like when I'm buying something, they're like, how did you always do so good? Because I always come back with a lot more usually than what I intended to get, or I just like bought something on the other picture, hoping that there was other stuff, and there usually was. I usually have a good record like that.
Well, I mean,
there's certain things that you look for, and there's certain things that when you're talking to people.
Yeah, I mean, we're buying storage units online through storagetreasures.com. I mean, it's no secret. But we do a lot of auctions. We do a lot of live auctions. But that stuff is researched, days and weeks in advance, and you plan that stuff out, and you got to make sure your finances are ready for that auction to come up. I mean, it's hours and hours and hours of research. I mean, I don't list fast because I spend probably half my day researching what I have or what I'm going to buy. I don't make bad buys hardly anymore. Or if I make a bad buy, it's because I spent $1 on something. I mean, I don't. It's great. I mean, I was showing Jason, I bought a bunch of stuff yesterday, and I literally, I thought this auction was going to go crazy, so I placed a lot of $1 bids to hold my place. I bought 16 items, and 12 of them were $1 a piece. Don't ask me why. I don't know why it went so cheap, but I mean, I got stuff. I got a camera that's worth $50. I got a Garrard turntable.
That's almost like jumping in a dumpster.
It's all, yeah, exactly. At that price, it's about doing that.
Almost.
I was feeling like Nikki there for a minute.
Where's Nikki in her car?
I don't do e-commerce auctions so much, but I am looking at one right now. There's a couple pallet quantities of stuff. And I'm thinking about maybe taking a leap on a pallet of shoes. So right now they want the opening bid to be at $100, and apparently they've had trouble getting rid of it. And I researched them; they're brand new shoes, and they sell for about $30 a pair. And there's 90 pair on the pallet. So I got to decide if I want to deal with 90 pairs of shoes. It's not the money; it's, do I want to deal with a pallet of shoes?
Sure. Tiffany had a question. If you want to answer it.
Yeah, you can see inside the unit. But I will tell you that some people look like they're using their film camera and then they're scanning the photo because the photos suck. Sometimes we're really bad. Some places are great. They do great photos and you get a really good view and you can blow the pictures up. But most of the time, the photos are about what you would see as if you would just open the door and we're standing there. I said the only thing you have to do is you have to trust that the people haven't gone in and cleaned the unit out. And you can almost tell when somebody's done that, though. You can look at a unit and tell if somebody's really rifled through it really a lot. But Yeah, it's no different than anything else.
Yeah, it's just another form of buying.
Yeah, but it's no different than being a bin picker and going and buying 25 or 30 items for a buck or two. It's the same concept. Yeah, the difference
Yeah.
is we try to buy things that are 25, 30 to $50, and the bin items you're getting, or you may only spend 10 or 15 cents, but you're only going to get 10 or $15 out of them. It's still good money. It's still good profit, but it's a lot. Yeah, it's in the end, it still pays the bills. I mean, that's the key.
Yeah, I mean, don't get us wrong. We've all started there. I didn't just start buying high ticket items. I did many years of dues with selling McDonald's glasses and all that other kind of crap. I forget how. I mean, I've been in the game a long time. How about you, Eric?
Oh, I've been buying an auction. It was early 90s actually.
Oh, okay. So
when I really got into it, and I've been on eBay since '98. So through various different, I get on it, and but I've always had a career outside of eBay, so it was always part time for me.
Yeah.
And I've only been hitting it to the point where I want to be full time for like the last 2.5 years. Is 2017, so since 2014.
Mm.
So I mean, I have never really. I mean, but I've always made good money. I've always put $10,000 or $15,000 extra in my pocket every year, just selling, really just kind of home run selling. But I also I've always done a lot with live auction where I take stuff to live auction and drop it off. I've actually got a bunch of stuff in a live auction that's going right now. It's actually a live online auction, but it's a bunch of guns and stuff that I just wanted to call out the collection. I wasn't using them. I'm never going to use them, so why not? And I picked them up cheap, and I'm going to turn around and I'll make profit on them anyway.
Right.
So. But yeah, it's the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, those people that love those Happy Meal displays, especially when they were Beanie Baby displays.
Oh, God.
They were nuts over those.
Well, that explains a lot.
That does explain a lot, Mr. Sadie. Well, I guess my question for him is, why didn't you follow his footsteps and go to the auction game?
Yeah.
Because I will say I have never met an auctioneer that was hurting for money.
Yeah, but it does take a certain personality too.
True, but if you grow up in the field, you kind of develop that personality.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I couldn't do it. I was a runner once for a friend.
Oh, I've done running. I've done auction management where I've done all the paperwork, but it's not in my nature because of my other job. It's not in my nature to be a loud, boisterous, talking in front of a bunch of people. I'm a quiet talker. I get into people's heads. So
There's a whole lot of skin going on over there.
well, thank God he didn't hear about No Pants Wednesday.
That would have been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. No Pants Wednesday with Naked Man would have really been rough.
Oh my goodness, yes.
He's wearing pants or shorts.
Thank God he didn't hear about it. I mean, so when you head into the office, Jason?
Oh, I'm getting up the motivation. I'm almost done.
I can see. Yeah, if you're just going to sit around and drink coffee all morning, you might as well just get on there and buy that darn unit and just make a day of it.
There you go. You don't even have to go nowhere. You just stay home and buy the unit. That's working.
Nah, it comes down to time management. I have a lot to do, and it's like and I'm in a certain momentum right now where I want to list, which isn't too often. So I really got to take advantage of it.
We all know Jason's history. He's lucky if he works a week out of every month. So this is actually like a weird thing for him. You know, he's changed his life.
Stop.
He's a new man. He got married. Now he's got all kinds of new habits.
Yeah. I'm the hardest working one out here, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
You work harder than me. I'll give you that.
I think everyone on the panel works harder than you.
They probably do.
And that includes Naked Man.
Oh my gosh.
I do enough to pay my bills and get by. I'm not trying to get rich doing this job. I'm live a very comfortable life.
Yep.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to get rich. That dream went out the window years ago when I started this. I mean, let's be real. I do it to live comfortably within my own means.
That's right.
And enjoy life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any problem paying my bills or anything. So that's why, to me, that's a successful eBay. If you can sit back and say, if you want to follow somebody who's full time, are they working another job? Can they pay their bills and still run their business and not be too worried about it?
Right.
Then that's a successful eBayer. You don't have to see somebody making $100,000 a month on eBay to be successful. My God. I mean, if you want to be rich, that's a little different, but
believe me.
That's most people though. They don't really have any desire to be rich, and they know that this is not a get rich scheme. This is,
I mean, you could take it to all sorts of different levels. Don't get me wrong, but
true.
As an individual seller, you're not really going to get rich or anything.
No.
That's it. And I think that's kind of what's wrong with the whole eBay thought process out there lately, which has been, don't do eBay to pay your bills. Do eBay to be a power rich seller, and grow your business and hire people and keep growing the business and become a CEO of, eBay Incorporated and be that guy. And that's hard work, and that's a lot of work. It's a lot of trust and a lot of investment. And when you can pay your bills and live a very comfortable life, just kind of selling on eBay, and you don't have to work hard at it. I work 4 or 5 hours a day. I don't kill myself.
And you could still get a business card that says like El Presidente or something, if you want that extra
Hell
boost.
yeah. I'm the president of my corporation.
I forget what mine says, actually. It's in my wallet in the other room, but
Actually, I just have mine as owner. I don't have anything.
Actually, I think I did put owner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I just owner of it. And on my resume, I keep my resume updated because you never know. I mean, I might find a dream job that I really want to do. I still have a lot of contacts in the world, and someone may call me up and say, "Hey, we got this dream job you've always wanted, in Key West, Florida." Like, okay. So I keep that updated. But on my resume, it's just owner of an e-commerce business. I mean,
man, I burned my resume about 15 years back, Eric.
Yeah, see, I enjoyed my other job. I mean, that's the difference. Yeah. I enjoyed what I did.
I enjoyed my other job. I was a computer technician. I love computers. Yeah. That
you were working in. No, it's not the same. I'm more of a people person. I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy catching thieves, and I enjoy it's the thrill of the hunt. It's kind of similar to what I'm doing now. You have to investigate what you're looking at and figure things out, and then you go in and for me, it was, getting somebody to admit that they're a thief, and, getting a confession and moving on. I mean, it's not that much different than what I'm doing now at eBay. It's just not people and stuff I'm investigating now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I love sitting down and talking to people who I know that they're a thief, but I don't know to the extent until we have a conversation. And it's really great when you can sit down and talk to somebody. Say they stole $200. I had a guy that we knew had stolen about $200. By the time we got done talking to him, we were over $15,000 in emissions. So, and that's not even my small. The best one I had in recent memory. That was a lady in Pennsylvania, as a matter of fact, had been working for the company for almost 10 years. knew the owner of the company personally, and I was actually back checking just a weird thing on my refunds report, and they were just high as percent to sales. You know, we talk about refunds with eBay. You know, an average business, they want refunds to be right around 3% of sales. You know, so you figure, you know, you got $100 in sales. For every $100 you sell, $3 is coming back. Well, this store, for some reason, it spiked up to over 5%. And it just doesn't make sense. You know, it's, you know, every store in the company, even your high theft, bad area stores, and I had the worst. I had the Baltimore market. They were over, they're all right around 3 to 3.5. Some of them were a little, you know, approaching 4, but the store was over 5, and it just didn't make sense. So I started just checking some refunds, and I found 2 people that were actually stealing in the store. And one was an assistant manager, and the other one was this person who'd been with the company 10 years. And by the time I got done with her, I had her on about $400 worth of theft, but it took me a week to do the investigation before I even sat down and talked to her. And I got her to admit to almost $30,000, and I figure it's probably double what she admitted to. Yeah, but I only had so much. I mean, that information from 5 years ago is gone. I mean, they don't retain that stuff. So
yeah.
But
It's funny because I'm kind of the opposite. I'm a little bit introvert, so I'm like, it's amazing I'm here talking to you people, to be honest.
Well, you understand, doing the work that I did, you are a loner.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Nobody likes you. You're the bad guy in the company. You're there to tell them everything they're doing wrong, because we did the audits for the stores. So we did all the paperwork audits. We did sales floor audits, things like that. So we're the bad guy.
Yeah, but not necessarily, because I remember, because I was a retail manager, you know, fairly high up, and you know, I loved the loss prevention guy. I mean, we get
it depends on what your loss prevention team is doing for you. Like I said, you know, my last company I worked for, you know, we did, not only did we do the loss prevention aspects, but we also did the sales floor audits. Are they doing their paperwork correctly? Things like that directly impact managers' bonuses and things like that. And if you screw up on my audit, and I'm a no holds barred. You know, you screwed up. Hey, you screwed it up. I don't hold it against you, but I'm not going to give you any slack either, because that's just, it's not built in to give you slack.
But you know, you're so true. I remember the regular employees, you know, they would never talk to the
Oh God, no! You're the loner. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're the guy that walks in and everybody's like, oh, somebody's getting fired today.
You're like the internal affairs guy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. I said I was comfortable with that role. I played it for almost 20 years, so you know, it doesn't bother me. But I enjoyed it because it's fun. Because there's nothing like seeing just one little paperwork glitch and then tracking it down, and then you can really prove yourself what happened with that glitch, and you can go find it, and you can stop a lot of loss for the store. I mean, that's the whole goal.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you, it's amazing how much theft goes on at the retail level. And Valerie either thinks this is really, really amusing, or she's frozen.
No, she's not in there. Valerie's got herself muted, so we can't tell anything on her. So,
but
is she frozen?
she's fine.
All I saw was this giant smile for like
She's
a long
not to
time,
me.
now it's a frown.
She's not to me. Now she's just making funny faces at you.
Oh, maybe I need to refresh.
Maybe.
But, oh yeah, so you would not believe how much theft really goes on in retail. And I'll never forget this one incident. There was this, I worked at a Comp USA. And there was this one incident. There was this guy who was, what do you say? He was just, you know, like such a nice guy. You know, he's like so friendly, and he got good friends with the GM. And
that's the guy we always targeted.
He had a little bit of a disability. He was a little, you know, slow, and but he became great friends with the manager. And every morning he was like very motivated to work, and he would get in at the same time as the GM, like 2 hours before the store opened. And the GM would give him the keys to let the employees in as they came in while he was working in his office.
Oh yeah, the guy was unloading the store at the same time. So.
Yeah, and it ends up the only reason he got caught was because his father called the GM one day and he said, "How much do you pay my son? Because he has so much electronics equipment here, it's ridiculous." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He ends up going to the house, and he had like $30,000 worth of computers, laptops, everything.
Yep.
And then the next day, he is on a plane to India back home.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. He was lucky because he was going to jail. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But you would have never, no employee or anything had any idea, nor would even think that he would be stealing anything.
that's a failure on your LP managers. The
Oh yeah.
guy's fault, because he, as part of his audits, they're supposed to monitor opening and closing.
Well, I can tell you right now what the problem was, because LPs are so disposable that it was during a time period where they didn't have one, because of various,
Yes,
depends on what the company's making or losing money.
Here's what happens to LP people, and there's a very big saying in the LP community: if you haven't been laid off, you haven't worked in LP long enough. It's just that simple. And what happens is a company gets into financial trouble, and they've got to make a big splash for Wall Street. So the first thing they do is like, where can we cut? Well, these LP people, they don't provide anything to sales. Boom, they're gone. Then you lose like marketing people, and you lose like a couple assistant managers. And it's a big splash. It's a big payroll splash. Look how much money we saved. And 6 months later, they're calling you back going, hey, you want to come back and work for us? And every LP guy out in the world is laughing their ass off like, no, I'm going to go get laid off from this job over here. Thanks anyway. You can't do me twice. But that's the big splash. And so you get a lot of inexperienced guys that come off the street that never worked a job. And now that's your LP guy. They don't know how to do it. It's just the way it is. I mean, people are short-sighted. They don't realize the amount of money that an LP guy can save you as opposed to sales people can make you. Because again, I cut the payroll now. Oh, I'm going to have bad shrink, but that inventory is not till 6 months from now, so I won't have to pay that dollar figure until 6 months later. But I got to get Wall Street off my my butt right now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
On a side note, it's 10:22 a.m. How drunk do you think Dusty is right now?
Tequila, yeah.
I want to be on vacation.
Every now and then you got to get away for a weekend or so every now and then. You were just on vacation for like a week, dude.
Yeah, I know, but it was kind of like
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. Weren't you just on vacation?
You never have enough vacations.
It's not like you had any stress going on because you're just getting married or something. I mean, you weren't stressed about it. I mean, your wife might have been, but guys don't stress about that.
No. I mean, maybe like a little stress like during the actual ceremony, but not,
Don't pass out, don't pass out, don't pass out, don't pass out. Maureen, the free, that's a mouthful, the free pile picker. I want to change that name. So I can't say that too often. MOF. Yeah, okay. Yeah, corporate security. That's a little different animal working up in corporate security where you're actually at the corporate office level. Because there you're dealing with much, much bigger dollar amounts. I used to have a friend that worked for Walmart corporate security. And he would talk about buyers and how buyers would get rich. And nobody would see the loss, because what would happen is they would for like Walmart, company would call them up and say, hey, I want to sell these glasses to you, a 4-pack of glasses. They're like, okay, how much are they going to sell them to us? Says, I want to sell them to you for $5 a set. And they're worth $15 a set. So, okay, so I can triple our money on them. That's good profit for the store and everything. But what would happen was the buyer would come back and say, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to buy them for you for $6 a set, and you're going to kick back $1 a set to it for everyone that we buy back to me in my personal account. So nobody really sees it. Walmart still thinks they're getting a good deal, but the guy's getting rich, and they had buyers that were living in mansions, and they were making $60,000 a year. I mean, it's Arkansas, for God's sakes, where Walmart's based out of. So, So yeah, but he said, but that's a very political job too. That's the biggest problem I hated about working my job. It was a very political job. If you had a store manager that was a superstar store manager, but a worthless piece of crap as far as a manager, but he talked a great game, his store was so good, he ruled by fear. It was hard getting rid of somebody like that because he had good results. But the guy was a piece of crap.
Well, I love talking to you all, but I got to get to work.
Yep.
That stuff isn't getting listed by me sitting here.
That's true.
So, you guys have a good day.
Yeah, have a good one
There
too.
you go.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah, I used to install the camera systems and watching tape. I watched hours upon hours, hundreds of hours of video. I still have video on my computers from showing people stealing. I had best one. I saved one, and one of these days I'll post it up on YouTube. But guy walks in to steal. He walks into to the office and he looks over. He sees the manager left the safe open, and so he's sitting there. He keeps looking at it. He's looking around. He knows the camera, and it's a small office. The camera's right here, and so you sit there, and all of a sudden you see him pick up a hat, and all of a sudden the camera gets covered. And then he goes to steal, and also, and then he knocks the hat off the camera, and he's out of the room. And you're like, okay, I didn't actually see it happen, but I know what happened, you know. And the guy was just absolutely shocked that he was caught. I mean, it was just funny, you know.
My
When I worked for Kmart, I had a lady walk out with her entire day's receipts once, and the reason she did it is, I mean, it was kind of funny. My boss was actually there visiting, so I wasn't even in my office at the time, but I had my tapes running. And so, you know, I went home at 6 o'clock. I get a call saying, hey, we're missing a bag, which is a drop bag. I'm like, okay, well, check everywhere. I said, you know, I'll come in the morning, I'll check the tapes. And she literally walked up and was trying to give her till to the desk people to take it from her, and then so they could bag her, and no one was paying attention to her. So she just kind of looks around and goes, and just walks out with the whole till. Just,
wow.
Yeah, bowling dog. It was like, and she'd not taken any drops, so she had like $6,000, which is way over what it should have been. It should have only been a couple $100, but
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. Yeah, I had a brand new car that got a baseball bat taken to once too. So yeah, you don't make a lot of friends in LP.
Oh my gosh.
Bill had the temporary tags on it.
Wow.
They baseball batted all four fenders, broke the lights, everything. They didn't break my windows, which is weird, but probably because it was in the parking lot and they were afraid to make too much noise. But yeah, I walked out of that. That was my very first brand new car I'd ever bought, and hadn't even had it 30 days, and it was just beat to hell. I was going through a divorce at the time. I was ready to kill somebody. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they got the insurance covered it.
Crazy.
We used to do integrity. We used to do what they called integrity tests on cashiers. We try to get them to steal. We drop money on them. We'd try to get them to change prices, things like that. I mean, very rarely does it work, but it's always good. Oh, it wasn't the X. I know it wasn't the X. So. But that's the fun jobs in retail.
Yeah.
That's why I don't work so hard now, because I used to work 12, 15-hour days doing that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked retail, well, up until I started respiratory.
Mm-hmm.
I did retail from, I don't know, 15 to, well, probably about 15 years probably.
Retail is the only job I know that you can get into with zero experience, and if you have a modicum of talent and work for the right companies, you could be making $80,000 to $100,000 a year within 5 years.
Yep.
You know, you got to catch a few breaks, you got to get lucky, but it's not that difficult. But you got to have a little bit of talent. You got to be able to handle, you know, adversity and you know, have good people management skills. So yeah, but yeah, it's not a difficult job, but and you got to have no concept of how much time you actually spend at work either. So
Right.
yeah, if you want to make good money in retail, you're going to work 80 to 90 hours a week.
Yep.
Shoot, you can.
Well, you've got to get out of hourly and get into salary.
Yeah.
Once you crack the salary scales, then they see the dedication, the amount of hours you move up
There's
quick.
no money in that though.
There's plenty of money.
Yeah, I don't see any money in it.
In salaried or hourly or in retail management.
Salary.
But see, the thing, that's being short-sighted. You're not seeing the end dollar. You're seeing the beginning dollar. Like for you, you work in a gas station. Your salary manager is probably between 35 and 45,000 a year. Okay, I'm going to guess. But I have a buddy that works for a very big gas station chain. He works for Speedway, and he started out from them making $36,000 as an assistant manager, and he's got a lot of experience. He was also an LP guy like me. Started as an assistant manager making 36. Within 6 months, he was making $48,000 a year.
Yep.
Just by working and become a store manager and bonuses and everything.
Just moving up and
just moving on up, and that was because he was dedicated. He knew what he was doing, and because he also had an LPI, he could actually do his audits in store, so he never lost bonus money on audits or anything like that.
right.
And then within a few months after that, he's in the $70,000 range because he actually started working at the corporate office, but going back into it. So. Is that a stucco wall behind you?
Yeah, I'm stucco. I'm in jail. I'm in an undisclosed prison location.
Looks like a Mexican prison.
It is a Mexican.
Isn't it though?
But the tequila's really good. Can I turn my camera this way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works. But yeah, you can make a lot of money salary, but you know once you make that jump into salary pay, which means you're getting the same pay every week, no matter how many hours you work. And
then they use and abuse you.
Exactly, but if you can survive that couple of years of being abused, the money starts to get really good. Because once you become valuable to somebody in a salary position, and they want to give you the next level up, they want to give it to you, you know, and you've got to want to earn it, but it's not hard to do. And some people stop it. Some people become an assistant manager and they don't want the responsibility. They never go. You got to be willing to take some risk. You know, but it's easy to get up to that $60,000, $70,000.
Yep.
But you will have no family life. You will have no personal life.
You will travel extensively.
If you can, yeah, if you got the ability, you can travel. I said my job, I was traveling, and I was driving every day. So, you know, but I could have taken a store management job and easily been making $65,000 or $70,000 a year. But to me, that was boring.
I knew a guy that was a GM or DM. I can't remember which one. DM. Or he's a regional or district. I can't remember, for a bunch of Taco Bells. Whatever our Alabama, I think it's called Tacala, Taco Bell of North Alabama or something. He didn't travel a ton. We're fairly regional, but he made, I haven't talked to him in several years, but he made really good money.
Yeah, if you can crack the regional level, I mean, you're easily over 100K a year, and you probably have zero college.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about retail is you don't need schooling. You need experience and you need skill, and the skill is gained through your experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's hard work. It's a lot harder than doing eBay.
Yeah.
You know, there's no doubt about that. But the reward is a consistent paycheck. But you can make more money doing eBay. I mean, if I dedicated the amount of time I spent working retail to the time I spent working eBay, oh yeah, I'd be making serious bank. But I'd be hating it then.
Right.
Yep.
Because it would feel like a job.
So true. Take a sun break here.
Yep. So are you enjoying your time, Dusty? I guess I don't know what happened to Sally. She's gone. Dusty, are you there? Dusty, Dusty, paging Dusty. Did I disappear?
No, I can hear you, Sally. Or Valerie. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But unfortunately, got back to shop. Well,
Okay.
I just got to, going back to post office more so that we could, make more creations.
All right, we'll make some more creations.
Well, I already did.
Okay. Good job, then. Sorry about that.
Fine.
Put some stuff away, so I need some boxes.
Enjoy day.
Yes, pal.
So, unfortunately, also,
Yeah.
unfortunately, unfortunately, which chair is that?
That's my chair.
I mean, which kind of it is?
It's an office chair.
Oh,
Just like yours. You have a different style. That's all.
oh, so that's a style chair.
Yeah. Daddy gets the expensive chair. You get the auction chair.
Oh, you get the expensive one?
Yes, because Daddy sits in his almost as much as you sit in yours, but Daddy's has an old back. You have a young back. Yeah, he'll be 14 in September. I had to think about that. Yeah, food industry is a little, I mean, Mr. Sadie said about food industry, that's a little different because there's different areas. Like if you work in a butcher's shop, like if you have a big grocery store and the butcher's department, those guys always make bank.
Right.
Because that's a different skill set. And my mom actually retired from a butcher shop out of a grocery store. So she was making $12 an hour when the cashiers were making $9.
Right.
So yeah. So there are certain fields that you can go in and do better than management, but it's very few.
Yeah. It's true. Tim wants to know, does anybody do international shipping here on eBay?
Only through the global shipping program.
Global shipping program.
I there's enough. If they don't want to pay global shipping, there's a lot of freight forwarders out there. So yeah, to me, it's not worth my hassle. I mean, and it's easy, and I know Canada gets screwed, and you know what? Don't live in Canada. Sorry. So for me, it's just not worth it. I mean, I give it a little bit of advantage because like for global shipping, for me, it's Kentucky. It's right there. I mean, I shipped a 25. Actually, I shipped like a 45-pound item to Kentucky for like $18. I mean, so.
Right. Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the envelopes, because I do ship FedEx, and FedEx has great envelopes that you can open and close. Those are what I would use. I'd go to my FedEx office and pick some of those up because they're not marked FedEx on the outside. It's just a plain envelope.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use those, or you can buy some of your own. You can buy them off of eBay. They're bill of lading envelopes. You can get those. They can be open and closed because you have to be able to open and take out and then put back in. So. But yeah, for me personally, I would never do international shipping unless it's through global shipping. The protections it gives you are just too important.
Right.
So, which is really what I think that's probably the biggest change that eBay made. That's probably made it why they're so successful selling internationally now, is because you never have to worry about the sellers. Now, more stuff is available to overseas because you've taken that fear of selling overseas away from everybody.
Right.
And there's a cost involved, and your buyers have to either pay that cost or not. I used to buy from England all the time, and I always had to pay a little extra because I'm getting it from freaking England. But
Mm-hmm.
I was restoring English car at the time, so you had to buy it.
Right. And that's the thing. I got a sale from it's called Shop Airlines.
Yep.
and I believe it's
that not in Jersey?
no, actually they're out of
Is that in California?
yeah, Rancho Cordova, I think,
Rancho Cucamonga
California.
or something like that. Yeah, there's a couple. They're actually on. There's a Shop Airlines on the East Coast too.
I had never heard of them, but I guess
Oh yeah, that's one of the
they're
big
like
ones, and everybody freaks out about it. But you know, it's no different than shipping to anybody else. Actually,
right.
it's even better because a freight forwarder, they're the ones that are. If the eBay address matches up, you deliver to them, you're done at that point. If someone
Right.
calls you, comes back, says, "Well, I got this and it was broken, and I'm in, France or something like that." Well, dude, I didn't ship it to France. I shipped it to Jersey. I don't know what happened to it after that. You say you got it in France. Well, that's not on me. That's why we have global
Right.
shipping, so it protects us both.
Right. Yeah, I figure, if it makes it to California, then, that's all bets
Yeah.
are off. But
Yeah, I love the global ship. I wish they would do something about the Canadian shipping because I think there's a big issue with that. And I think the reason it's so high is because that the company Pitney Bowes probably realizes that Canadian shipping is not very expensive, but they can really rape them over the coals for it. And so I think that's where they make a lot of their money because a lot of more people ship to Canada than anywhere else. So.
mhm.
PayPal is changing in July, making it faster in some cases to get your money. As in get your money from a bad sale or just get your money total?
I think just get your money from total.
I have it on my PayPal card. I can get it as soon as it's in my account. So
Yeah.
yeah, if you don't have the PayPal
Because he's
card,
a new,
get the PayPal
he's a
card.
new, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Get the
Get
PayPal card.
your PayPal debit card because what you want to do is get your PayPal credit card or debit card actually, and that becomes your business account. So your goal is to stop using personal money or bill money or life money for eBay and let eBay pay for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're because when everybody first starts out, eBay is not paying the bills. You're buying your merchandise out of your pocket. You're paying for your store fees out of your pocket. You're paying for all this stuff up front because it's a capital investment in your business, which is nothing wrong. So if you can get to the point where you got eBay is that's when I knew my business was successful, is when I stopped worrying about personal money paying for anything. Suddenly eBay is paying for everything, and I have extra money that I pull out and I pay bills with my PayPal cards and everything. So I pull money out of that account because it's also I get 1% back. It's a bonus for me. I mean, every time I spend money, I actually make a little bit of money on it. But plus now all monies come from PayPal first before any fees come from anywhere else. Not sure what that means. I'll have to check my email. I haven't looked at it. I never really worry about PayPal. So, but yeah, I mean that's where you want your business to be, where it's self-supporting. Once your business becomes self-sufficient, then you're in a good place. And again, if you're a new seller, you always have issues because you got to wait till you get 100 feedback, I think, before they release your money. Now they may be lowering that. Yeah, if you're new enough, Tony, you got to have at least 100 feedback, and
three criteria that you have to meet.
Yeah, it's 100 feedback, X amount of dollars in sales, and there's probably like a time limit.
It's 90 days.
Okay, 90 days, yeah.
90 days, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, there's a few criteria to where they won't hold your money at all. I mean, Tim, if you're fairly new, then you're in the hold process, which sucks because now, like I said, it's 90 days. Now, if you get a feedback on a sale, they'll release that money right away. That's one of the biggest things about it. That's why it's encouraging to get good feedback, because they're releasing that money faster to you anyway. Right. They'll also release it within 4 days of being delivered. Yeah, so they're going to hold for about 20. You figure about 21 days for your hold stuff. The good thing is you can still pay shipping out of that held money. You know, because when they first started this, they weren't even paying shipping out of that. And everybody's like, wait a minute now.
And by the way, they
Yes, pal.
Exactly.
unfortunately, since they did get to live for, unfortunately, my animals don't get to live forever.
That's true.
You know, that's the thing about, you know, Tim, just them holding that money. Just think of it as money in the
Luckily,
bank.
I
You know,
hope,
you'll be able to get to it
unfortunately,
when it's available, but just kind of think of it as money in the bank. Yeah, they usually want they do, you know, once it's delivered, I think it's 48 hours after it's been delivered, they will release that money. Uh, and they go through that, you know, that thing every single time they go through that. So
Yeah.
if you can look at it and say, oh, okay, you know, I got 48 hours and then it's in my money. Now, if it's a week and they still haven't released it, then you probably need to
Yeah.
call
So
PayPal.
they delivered it Monday. You can look at for probably today, maybe tomorrow at the latest. They'll release that money. I mean, that's the biggest pain in the butt when you first start on eBay, and that's what's one of those goals. You're just trying to get better. But like I said, that's where you need to have. I mean, if you're just starting out, I would say that if you had $250 as your initial investment, that would be enough to get you to buy stuff, get it listed, sell that stuff, because you can only list so many items a month when you're first starting anyway. So you can't really go on a huge buying spree, but you buy good stuff that's going to flip quick.
Yep.
The faster you sell it, the faster you get back to the next phase of where you're getting feedback, and then you can list more items. You know, don't buy maybe stuff. Buy stuff that you see a lot of good solds on. You know, even if you have to pay a little bit more for it, because again, you're not really trying to build a business. You're trying to build your account at that point. And then kind of work your way up from there. I mean, it sucked. I mean, I started over my account in 2012 because my old account was in my wife's name, and we'd had that account for 10 years. And when she passed away, as part of the estate, I can't keep the account. It's in her name.
Mm.
We did that because that way she had an income because she was a stay-at-home mom. Well, the bad thing about that is, well, that's now a locked account. I mean, the money was always, you know, easy to pull out and everything, but I can't keep selling on that because as part of the estate, you close all those accounts in her personal name.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to start all over in 2012, and I didn't really sell a whole lot until 2014. When I started in 2014 selling, I only had, I think I had just a little over 100 feedback. So I wasn't getting held at that point. Because I had a $4,000 sale in there. I had a lot of good stuff selling, but you know, so in 2.5 years, I've put another 1,000 feedback on there. So I mean, it doesn't take long. Feedback comes in about a 30% rate. You know, so I'm selling like 1,200 items a year. Maybe actually probably more than that. I haven't looked at it lately, but because I'm doing about 140 a month now. But yeah, it just takes time. Once the business starts rolling, you get moved along, and you don't even pay any attention to it.
Yep. Well, you know, at least you have other ways to, you know, like he said, he sells local and he sells antiques and has been for the last
Yeah, I
25
mean,
years.
yeah, you don't have to depend on eBay being your sole source, but if you're already
Right.
doing stuff like that, pick it up and try to get that account built up to where you're not going to be a big deal, and you can kind of go through it. So
Right.
yeah, I like selling at live auction, even if I lose money on an item, because it's instant money. I mean, you got to figure I have to buy it, pay buyer's premium on it if I buy it at an auction. It's got to be worth enough that I know I can flip it to another auction, pay their premium back to them, and still make money. And I usually do that. You know, but I buy it cheap
Right.
enough. But you know, not always. Sometimes you lose money, but again, you're making space and you're bringing cash back into your business. You know, I got a garage full of stuff. Is that stuff doing me any good at all? Am I ever going to get to it? I hope so, but you know, I got a Coke machine out there for God's sakes. I don't know what I'm going to do with that one. That was an impulse buy. But I only paid $50 for it. I figured, hell, a Coke machine for $50. I didn't realize it weighed almost 500 pounds. That one sucked. Yeah, I should create a second buying account because I do everything on my main account. If I created a second buying account, then you can kind of build it up with feedback, sell a few things on there here and there, and then actually, get it set up that way.
Yeah, Izzy says, I just started selling 5 weeks ago, which is great. Sold 7 items and have only gotten 2 feedback.
That's about the right rate. You get about, for every 1 item you sell, or for every 3 items you sell, you get about 1 feedback. So you're doing about the average.
Yeah.
And some of those people will come back and give you feedback 6 months from now for an item you sold. It's kind of crazy. I think they forget, and then they get it, like they go to buy something else, and then they go to do a feedback, and they realize, oh, I've got 20 feedback, and then they're just like bang, 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 knocking them out real quick. So yeah, you just gotta. I wouldn't even worry about that. It'll come. The hardest part is when you get to those milestone feedback numbers. Like when you get to 100, you'll sit at 99 for like 2 weeks, and you're just like, why won't somebody leave me a freaking feedback? And then somebody hits you 100, you're like 100. Also, you got like 108. You're like, I didn't get to enjoy my 100. What's up with that? I wanted to enjoy, revel in that. I finally cracked that number. When I cracked 500, I was like, yeah, 501. What?
Well, that's no fun.
Yeah. And cracking 1,000 was nice. 1,000, it stuck on 1,000 for like a day and then went through there. But it's always amazing. You're like, oh, I'm so far away from those milestone 100, 500, 1,000. I think the next one's like $5,000. But when you finally hit those ones, it's just like, it's like an accomplishment. I mean, I've sold 3,000 items. I've made 1,000 people happy enough to leave me a feedback. That's the cool part about it.
Right.
The nice thing about it is it no longer counts against you. It was always a sweat job when it counted against you. A few years ago when you get a bad feedback and it could jeopardize your whole account, especially when you're just starting out. That was rough back then.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Mother's Mustache says there's a locker full of work vending machines, coin machines. Looks like there's soda still in the machine, so another heavy. Plus, where are the keys? The keys, that's easy. It's a drill out the key, and they'll pop open. You can replace those. Really, it's very cheap to replace them. Do they work? Mine doesn't cool. The compressor works, but it doesn't cool, so there's probably a leak in the system somewhere. But the machine I have is the heaviest Coke machine that Coke ever produced. It weighs empty. It's 476 pounds. I have an appliance dolly, so I had to rent a trailer because there was no way I was getting up in my pickup bed. That's for certain. I didn't want to lay it down, and I couldn't have picked it up anyway. But so I rented a trailer with a ramp. It was actually relatively easy to get home. I just have to decide what I want to do with it. Now, I'm thinking I might part it out because if I part out the Coke sign, it's a bottle machine, so it takes a small bottle. So I can actually have like each one of those little bottle flaps has advertising on it. The change mechanism inside is worth about $150. It doesn't have a bill changer because it's too old for a bill changer. It's a 78 or 79 model. They were 35 cents, I think, 35 or 40 cents back then. So if you have one that's a bill changer, changes are worth $100 or so in parts to people. So, you can make a lot of money parting them out, and I'll probably part that machine out. It's not hurting anything being in my garage, and I like it. It looks cool. So it's not something I will get rid of right away. And the good thing is after I part it all out, I'll be able to, I got scrappers that live 2 doors down from me, and I'll just, hey, come over and grab this thing, and you can scrap the rest of it. I won't have to worry about it. But yeah, that's, buying, I had never planned on buying a vending machine, and it didn't sell at auction. And I probably could have bought it for $10, but the guy, he had it for 100 and he wouldn't take anything less. And then I heard him offer to a guy for $50, and the guy's like, well, I'll think about it. And the guy's like, well, I'm going to make that offer tonight. And so I don't know. So I told the guy, I said, well, I'll take it for 50. He's like, yeah. I said, yep, I'll pick it up tomorrow. Which side, Georgia? I see what it said. 50 cents, which means it's going to put it into the mid 80s. So probably doesn't have a dollar changer. It might. That was about the era, 82, 83, 84 is when they start putting dollar changers on them. But again, for parts alone, they're usually worth decent. If you can get the smaller ones, the ones that are like chest high, like a chest or even a little bit smaller, those are what people want. They want to have a machine to put into their man cave that holds beer. Yeah, unpaid item. No worries. I got a trombone I'm waiting. The guy's supposed to pay me today. He might pay me tomorrow. I don't know. He said it's going to take a couple days to pay. So, but he's in Peru. So everything he was telling me I had to run to the Google Translate. But
It happens.
I'm not worried about it. If he doesn't pay for it, he doesn't pay for it. I'll relist it. It's a good item. I took a little bit lower offer because I wanted to move it, but I'm not too worried about it.
Don't let that get you down. Just let the unpaid manager do its job. And
yeah, it sucks for somebody who's new because that ties up an item that you had listed and ties up one of your listings and kind of messes you all up when you have limited listings.
right.
Like for me, I can list. I guess my last time I took that was like 12,500 items and $400,000 worth of stuff, and I'm nowhere even near ever going to list that much stuff. But when you're first starting out, you're always trying to get them to bump that limit. Every 30 days, you got to be making that phone call. Can I get a listing increase? Can I get a listing increase? So you get to a decent number, and I kept mine at like 500 forever.
Mm-hmm.
$512,000 or something like that forever, because I'm like, I'm not going to have that much. And then suddenly I've got $20,000 worth of stuff listed, and I'm consistently over 500 items now. Yeah, if you don't list, I mean, really, you should list every day. But if you don't list every day, you can't really go more than a day or two before you start to see a sales fall. You'll still make sales, but you're gonna have issues. Eventually, you'll fall off because really, when you list new items, about 35 to 40% of that stuff's going to sell really fairly quickly. So I don't know. That you find that for you, Val, when you put brand new stuff up, it usually you sell a portion of that stuff fairly quickly.
Oh yeah.
And the other stuff just takes a little bit of time to turn through. So you kind of think about that. If you put 20 items up, you're going to sell 6 of those items in the next 3 days, which is great. But if you put 20 items up every day, you have that constant. So eventually you're getting 6 or 7 sales a day. So that's the fun part about it, is that you got to kind of figure out how often you're going to list. I didn't list yesterday because I got caught up doing a bunch of different things. I still sold 5 items overnight. Wow. But I need to list today because I brought a bunch of new stuff in, so I want to get it listed, and then I have no auction pickup today, so I don't think I have an auction pickup. I have to check my email. I bid in so many auctions I forget that I bid. It's a danger sometimes. I'm like waking up going, oh shit, I spent $50. I didn't even know I was going to spend. But yeah, these guys have heard me in hangouts in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh hell, I had an auction I was bidding on. What was I bidding on? Yeah, because I forget about it because I've bid in so many. Where I'm at, I'm very lucky. I have a lot of online auctions. I probably have an opportunity to bid 10 to 15 a night. Now, some of these are Amazon return auctions, which I don't bid in. So, there's probably 5 or 6 every night that are Amazon returns. And I don't bid in every online auction. In my local area, there's 4 companies that I really deal with, but there are 2 that are up north Ohio and 2 in southern Ohio that I just don't feel like driving for, because it would be a 2-hour drive to go pick up. And the deals are good, but I don't want to tie my time driving up. Now, if I'm going to change vehicles, because I have a big truck, so that gets 15 miles a gallon if I'm lucky. And I'm going to get a different vehicle, but I'm probably going to get I had a small convertible. I'm probably going to get either a bigger convertible where I can pick up some stuff in it, or a sedan that has a decent sized trunk. So if I buy some small stuff, I wouldn't mind making a couple-hour drive. If I can get the gas mileage over 20 to 25, I'd be happy. But
right.
And if I buy a muscle car, then it might be little less than that, but we'll see. Can't go a day without sourcing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't buy everyday stuff every day, but I home run shop every day.
Right.
You know, like I said, that auction I was bidding in that I picked up the stuff from yesterday, you know, nothing super home runny, but you know, when you buy a camera for $1 and it's nothing special, it's a Yashica, it's an old film camera, but when you run the model number, you find out this is the one they used for the Spider-Man movie. So the value goes from a $15 camera to a $50 camera. You know, and I got it for $1. I mean, to me, that's not a home run, but that's a solid hit. You know, that's a solid double easily. So, you know, for me, a home run, I got to make a couple $100 off $5 or $10. I mean, that's a home run. You know, the trombone, I spent $17. I got sold for $120. You know, so those are more home runny type stuff. But I bought like 12 things like that where I was spending $1 or $2, and then they're all worth $40 or $50. I added up the auction. I should make about $550 off I spent $36. You know, so those type of stuff I don't mind buying, even though I don't really need to buy. For me, my goal when I first started eBay was a sale a day. I wanted to be shipping something out every single day. And my average ticket, which is one thing you hear me talk about a lot, is how much do you make on average every time you have a sale? That is critical to building your business.
I would definitely say that's probably more critical than, you know, putting up new listings.
Yeah, and that just means higher quality items.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my average ticket right now?
It's very true.
Okay, like for the last 12 months, I sold 1,127 items and for $29,000. And that's not 100% accurate, but that's a good enough number for us to deal with.
Right.
Divided by 127. So my average sale is $25.83. And it's been consistent that way for the last 3 years almost. So for someone to make the same amount of money I'm making, as in discounting whatever they paid for, of course, if they only make a $12.50 average sale, they've got to sell twice as much. So if you can get your average ticket up to where you're making $25 to $30, so and I average 3 sales a day, which isn't a whole lot. You know, some days I get 6 or 7, some days I get 0. I get 0 still. I mean, it drives you nuts because you're just like, oh my God, what into my eBay store? Why am I not getting a sale? But when your ticket is that much, you get 3 or 4 sales a day, you're making over $100 a day. Oh, $100 a day, that's not a whole lot. Well, I'm sorry, that's 7 days a week. That's 365 days a year. That's $36,000. You chop 1/3 of that off for shipping, taxes, and sourcing, which is about what it works for me, is about 30%. So I get about 60% of that. So I make about $24,000 free and clear. Again, that doesn't sound like a great dollar amount, but somebody who makes $35,000, $40,000 a year after they pay taxes and everything, and back and forth to work and lunches at work and all that type of stuff, and I work 4 or 5 hours a day, I'm pretty happy with that number. You know, some people's bills are higher, they got to make more, that's fine. But yeah, look at your average ticket. So just take your sales for the last 12 months, divide it by your transactions for the last 12 months, and figure out what you're getting. And when you do that, that'll tell you whether you need to work harder or maybe you need to be more selective in what you buy.
Right.
I don't buy the bag of junk necklaces. Tim asked about the jewelry junk jars at the thrift store.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like sorting it. People find gold and silver stuff in there all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's some really good costume jewelry out there. If you get into some good costume jewelry that's worth thousands, that's time. And if you find if you find one or two pieces, you might be good. Silver's not like the most valuable stuff, so you know it takes a lot of silver to be worth anything. But if you find some decent stuff, okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Just not my business. I mean, but I will tell you where you can make money with junk jewelry is take it to a live auction.
Mm-hmm.
They go nuts over that stuff. Just absolutely insane. Or you do a junk drawer lot, which is what I'll do a lot of times. I'll get a bunch of little crap that's worth $5 a piece. I don't want to feel, it's not worth taking to donate. I don't really want to throw it away. So what I do is I build it into a medium-sized flat rate box and I lay it all out, take one photo, put it in the flat rate box, take another, maybe a couple close-ups, broken phones, I had a broken iPad or iPhone. I put in one, and I'll get $40 or $50 for that, and it costs free shipping, but it's a medium flat rate, so it's cost me like $12 to ship it. And I do it as an auction, so I'll put it up like I'll put it up for like basically shipping costs plus like $5 and just auction it, and people go crazy over stuff like that.
Yep.
And that's true, Maureen. I mean, since she's a free buyer, it's kind of like Sally. Everything, when you get it for free, it's all good. But you got to look at how much time you're spending listing a free item that you sell for $10 is not as good a profit as spending $3 on something and selling it for 30. So sometimes it pays to spend a little bit of money to up your value of your items, and that's kind of where me and Sally have our arguments back because she doesn't want to spend any money. She's a free picker as well. And sometimes if you spend a little bit of money, you get that much greater. Now, Sally gets great stuff. She's got a great source where she gets her stuff, and it's not uncommon for her to have a $100 item, and that's a great deal. But if you spend a little bit of money, you don't have to spend a lot, you can get really good dollars out of it.
Right. And just keep flipping it.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. When I first started this business, I didn't take any money out of the business for 4 months. It all kept getting rolled back in. And so when you do it that way, you build up a big inventory, so that way when you finally start pulling money out, you're not really seeing it then. Mm-hmm. But that's true of any business that you start from a small business aspect. You're not going to, most small businesses that people don't earn a salary for the first year. They just roll that money back into the business, and they either take it as a deferred salary, or they don't take one for the first year and they live off their savings. That's why it takes a lot of money to start a business. Whereas eBay, you don't need a lot of money to start a business. You can start with a couple $100.
As you said, one of her problems is that she spends too much time on researching.
Depends on how much time you're spending researching. If you're finding unique items, then you have to worry about it. But if you're selling clothing, for example, and I got a bunch of sweaters over there I need to list. I'll probably get to those today. I don't know what they're worth. I know they're worth, I've looked at them already. I know they're worth $20 to $30 for the most part. But if I find one that's worth $35, I may not find the exact pattern. But if I find the brand and see the brand on average is selling that, I won't search Argyle sweater, golf, sweater vest, any of that stuff. I'll just search brand sweater and then look at solds. And if that brand doesn't sell for $20, I'm probably not going to list it unless I have enough that I can lot together. You can over research stuff, but you got to be. You can't overthink what you're doing. It's a lot better to get up and list it and profit off of it, even if you don't make max profit. People have to stop worrying about max profit. It's getting your money back and getting it to work for you. There's too many people that have the mindset of list it and forget it, and which is fine as a business model. But the problem is that's money you've got tied up, unless you get it for free. But it's money you have tied up. It's time you have tied up. You're better off. I can wait for a $70 item, or I can sell it for $50 right now. And I can take that $50, reinvest it, and get 10 more items that I sell for $50 as opposed to $70, and I've turned that money into bigger dollars down the road. $18 karat, 17 jeweled watch. Yeah. Yeah, good. I love buying pocket watches. It's just so many of those darn things have been melted down for the gold. It's a damn shame. And most people, that's what they're buying for nowadays is the gold content. They're not keeping them as watches. Only the really special ones are being kept. So actually, gold pocket watches are getting rarer and rarer. Other Jason pipes in, yeah, definitely a decent listing with good pictures, but just a little research. So you know you're not giving something away. You don't have a $500 item yourself for $25, but
Right.
Yeah, don't overthink things. Yeah, quality and uniqueness equal value. Top rated seller benefits. It did change a little bit. The biggest benefit is you get a discount on shipping, and that changed down to 10%, where it used to be at 20%. You get a discount on your fees, and that changed also. I mean, there's some. You have to look at the latest seller update to get the changes. But you get a discount on shipping. You get a discount on your. I think you get a discount on certain fees. Biggest difference is you get a higher search rating. That's the whole goal is if you and somebody else are the exact same item, the exact same title, the exact same pictures, conditions the same, and you're top rated, they're not. When somebody's searching for that item, you're going to be up in the top compared to where they're at. And there's things that can move you up in search engines. Top rated seller because that guarantees 1-day shipping. Fast and free shipping will get you even higher up in there. If you have a promotion event as a promoted listing or promotional, it can bump you up even higher. And the goal, because if you search for, we always talk about Ralph Lauren polo shirt. There's like 20,000 listings. Well, you want to be on the first page. Woo!
Get it.
You want to be on that first page because who's going to, somebody paying for something they bought earlier. You want to be, nobody wants to search 20,000 listings. So the higher you're in the search engine means your odds of being seen and being visible are a whole lot greater. And there's websites to check that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not same day shipping. I do next day shipping. But if it gets paid before 2 o'clock, I'll ship it the same day. 2 o'clock my time, which is 11 o'clock California time. But because it's just I'm here anyway. I don't go to the post office till after 2. But I don't want to constrain myself with same day shipping because if I can't get to it that day, I don't want to be, that person, that didn't do it. Tell you, Angela, the best site to look up glass items that aren't marked is the trash bin. I don't buy things I can't research.
That's true.
And I learned that a long time ago with glass. Unless you can identify the stuff, and like Blanco is a West Virginia glass company, that's fairly easy to identify. It has a very distinctive look. But there's some really good looking glass that you find out was Avon. I mean, it looks good. It's really cool. It's just not worth a damn thing. I don't buy glass. I hate to say it, but I really don't buy glassware because it's so volatile. That market goes up and down like crazy. What used to be great is no longer. Now this is what's great again. I don't mess with it. So if I can't immediately identify the item and I know it's worth good money, I don't mess with it. And that was a lot of time spending researching it. And when I went through and purged my last douche in my inventory, I decided that I was going to put a lower limit of somewhere in that $20 to $25 range. If it wasn't worth that much, I wasn't going to bother with it. And I'm talking about stuff I'd already owned. And so what I did is I ended up bagging up, I think it was 8 or 10 bags of clothing and probably 20 boxes of stuff that I said, you know what, it's good stuff. There's nothing wrong with it, but my time is worth more to me when I'm listing at $10 item and I can't get to the $50 item because I got the $10 item in the way. That's the stuff that was driving me crazy. And so I decided I'm not buying those $10 items anymore. But I had to clean out my inventory of those $10 items.
Right.
And to me, like, you know, unmarked glass, things like that, where it's really pretty and it's probably worth $10 to $15. It's not worth hassling with. Yeah. I don't like glass. And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I have some china that I've listed, but I don't really buy that stuff. I don't like to sell highly breakable items. Waterford crystal I would buy. I'd buy Waterford, I'd buy Baccarat, and then I would buy Dom. But Waterford is even kind of a hit and miss. I'd have to research it before I bought it. Some of that stuff is really, really good. Some of the stuff is okay. I mean, you can find Waterford in the thrift store. You'll a lot of times you'll find the millennial glasses, the wine glasses.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of sets of those made, and they're still worth $15 a piece, so maybe $30. But Waterford ashtrays was my weakness for a long time because I specialized in smoking stuff for a good while. But Waterford ashtrays are actually fairly valuable, which is kind of weird. Most people wouldn't think that, but who makes ashtrays anymore? Yeah, when's the last time anybody bought an ashtray from a store?
I don't know. Well, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Hope everybody has a great day and many cha-chings to you.
Yep.
Not quite sure what happened to Sally.
I think Naked Man was taking advantage of No Pants Wednesday.
But all right, we'll see you tomorrow, bright and early.
Yep. Peace.